Well, time for another bear camp update. And this is going to be kind of a short one, but we have some pretty exciting things that have been going on. What do you want first? The good news or the other good news? The good news is the bears are still hitting the baits, and we've actually even got some new bears that have come in to some of the baits. So it just keeps getting better. I guess we've lost some bears too. Some bears just kind of move out of the area looking for acorns, and the acorns are starting to drop, but they seem to be a little bit late this year. So we have lost some and gained some bears. Overall, I would say it's probably a gain. The other good news is that we've got most of the stands hung now on the active baits, and had a great weekend. My wife came up and she brought my grandson Skylar, who helped out with several things around camp, and also helped carry buckets and change cards into trail cameras and stuff like that, drive the four-wheeler. For a 10-year-old, he's having a blast. I'm not kidding you. He loves this stuff, and it's kind of fun having him around. Virgil showed up a couple days ago and helped hang tree stands, which is really helpful. My wife has been helpful too. Unfortunately, since the fellow that I hired to be a guide is not able to come to camp, apparently, you know, we're just stuck with what we got here, and we could sure use some more help, but that's, you know, we're gonna have to make do. And so I'm grateful to have Virgil here, and he doesn't seem to mind washing dishes, which is another good thing about having him around. I have a few updates on some of the baits. Another bait that wasn't really doing much that is now getting hit regularly, but it's at night. I'm hoping that bear goes nocturnal. Tomorrow morning I'm taking a tree stand up there and going to check that bait again. And if I have any daylight picture of this nice big bear on camera, I am going to hang the stand. I have one bait that just has been getting hammered by wolves. It's also one of the baits that has the most bears on it, so it hasn't seemed to slow down much. I've seen times when having wolves on a bait slows the bear activity down quite a bit, but in this case it doesn't seem to. So the guys that I have coming into camp, one of them's a left-handed bow hunter, so I hung a stand for a left-handed bow hunter. A couple others they're telling me they're considering whether or not to hunt with a handgun, and I've got some baits that are really close. I'm saying probably 12, a couple of them are in that 12 to 15 yard range, which is a pretty easy shot with a handgun. For most people, probably wouldn't be for me. I'm not very good with a handgun, but I'm not hunting. So regarding that bait that I call the neighborhood bait, which is less than a half a mile from here, and I think it's starting to rain again. I mean, we have been just putting up tree stands and baiting between the rains, and it just keeps raining, and I'm feeling sprinkles right now, so I got to make this short. But the neighborhood bait is about a half mile from camp here, and I had that bear in camp that was just kind of terrorizing my area up there where I keep the barrels and the buckets and stuff like that, and hoping that maybe I would get him on bait, but he hasn't showed up. And those big mature bears, I mean, it was a long shot. I knew it was a long shot. They travel so many miles that who knows where that bear could be right now. It could be 5 miles from here, I don't know. But overall, things are looking pretty good. I mean, really excited about having people come in. It's a very exciting time for me. I'm just pretty jacked up about, you know, putting people out there and giving them a chance to shoot a bear. And I am getting texts from the guys. I know they're really excited too, the people that are coming in. And so we're closing in 4 days, still opening here. So we're going to fill up the baits one more time, and then wait till the hunters arrive, and then we will bait as we put them in the stands, of course. And then also while they're out hunting, we will probably bait a couple of baits. I don't like to bait after 4 o'clock. You know, if you've watched my videos and stuff, you know I really don't like bumping bears off the bait. So if we can get a couple baits done by 4:30 at the absolute latest, we'll probably do that. But anyway, it's really going pretty well, and I've been hearing from people who are really struggling. I talked to a friend who's an outfitter who feeling pretty down because he said, I actually have more people coming in to hunt than I have baits I have confidence putting them on, and I've got baits that are just getting hit really sporadically. And he just was kind of distraught, actually, that he felt like he had to put people on baits where he just didn't feel confident that they had a really good chance of seeing a bear. So it's a tough year, man. There's a lot of your amateur baiters. I mean, there's guys that just don't have bears on their baits. A lot of them. The harvest rate's going to be down this year, no doubt about it in my mind. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed these trail camera pictures, and with the next time I bring you another update, it's going to be when the guys are in camp and we're actually hunting. I got a couple of the guys that are coming in who are planning to video their hunt. I like that idea, and I'll bring that to you. And overall, we're just going to enjoy time in camp. I'm pretty well ready for people. Been doing a lot of work on the food and stuff like that, and getting stuff prepared and getting stuff ready, and some of it I pre-cook. Just to give you a little update on how we do the meals, you might be interested in this. Typically we can be out pretty late at night. It gets dark about 8:30, and the farthest baits away are about an hour from the time you climb out of your stand to the time we're back in camp. And now if I got to track a bear, we got to pull a bear out or whatever, we could have people showing up in camp at 8:45 or 9 o'clock if they're close, or I can be out there bringing somebody back at 10 or 11 and still have to skin bears. And so in the evening at night, what I do is I just have something in a crock pot, so when people get back they can eat something, and they got something hot when they come in out of the stand. And that's typically something like pulled pork in a crock pot they can pull out and put on buns. Virgil makes a killer goulash. We do that one night. There's sloppy joes. I do a shrimp Alfredo with noodles. That's really good. You get the idea. That's the type of things. Cowboy stew. Stuff that's easy to do in a crock pot. And since we're up late, we don't eat breakfast very early. That's typically about 8:30. Have a pretty big breakfast. Not everybody likes a big breakfast, but I do make a big breakfast for those that like a big breakfast. I'm a bacon and eggs and hash browns kind of guy, and so that's what we do. And then the big meal of the day we do about 1 to 2 o'clock. Typically about 2 is when we eat that meal. They're not hungry when they head out for the long evening. And that's the big meal. Is going to be, it's like lasagna, or I got a bunch of ribeyes we're going to grill up one day. We're going to have a build your own burger type of thing. So that's the biggest meal of the day. That's the way we eat. But anyway, thank you for following along here. And I will say, by the way, people are asking about the mosquitoes this year because of all the rain. Let me tell you this: at some of the baits, the mosquitoes are pretty bad, and at the rest of them, they're really bad. So it's one of those years, and here comes the rain. So we will talk to you in a few days. Thanks for watching.